Today is March 22nd. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live, Season 4, I believe, with me, Joe Roderick, along with Bob Ramsey. Rammer, how the hell are you?
Doing good, Joe. A little self-serving plug, Ballparks National at the Lake of the Ozarks. Our new fields are under construction, and on one of the fields, they're laying turf down today. It's very exciting. And I know we're going to see you and your club later this summer, and we hope to see everybody. Come on down, ballparksnational.com.
June 28th, Rammer. That's when you and I will drive out there and we will do Daily Cards Live from Ballparks National before our first game, the Southern Illinois Blue Jays first game. I believe we're bringing about 7 teams out there for you guys. That's that weekend.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, the Ballin' and Brawlin' weekend. Still haven't quite worked out the details with Jeff Vernetti, where I fall in with the Brawlin' section of all of that. But as far as the Ballin' section goes, looking forward to all the baseball tournament action.
I'm not, because you two guys are, and for those who don't know, Jeff Vernetti, my partner here at Ballparks National. Some of you may remember, and he was a radio personality in St. Louis for a long time. But you two are the wrestling guys. So are you trying to get a match? You want to be in the ring?
I mean, if I need to hand somebody a chair or a baseball bat to use in a match, maybe run in there and do a quick 3 count for somebody, like I'm all about that.
Okay.
But as I've told the folks at Glory Pro Wrestling here in St. Louis, I'm not afraid to go through a table. You want to put me through a table, I'll do it. Rammer, you and I have worked together long enough that you know that I am all about what's best for business.
Right.
And if that's what it means, if that's what it takes, I will do that. If it's what's best for business.
Okay.
Yeah. We are 2 games into the 2024 Major League Baseball season as the Padres and the Dodgers started their year in South Korea, the Seoul Series. Out there, both teams will come back to California to get their year started. Actually, both teams starting their seasons against the Cardinals in the first week of the season. So, where it will be the Cardinals' first game of the year on Thursday, it'll be the Dodgers' 3rd game of the year on Thursday. But we, for those that woke up early or saw the highlights from South Korea, you saw the team, the presumptive World Series champion team, the Dodgers, with Shohei Ohtani against a kind of a revamped Padres with former Cardinal manager Mike Shildt, but a team that is still dangerous nonetheless, even without Juan Soto.
Yeah, and with they reconfigured things, not unlike the Dodgers. Cronenworth is going to play first base. Soto's not on that team. But I think we saw just in those 2 games that the Padres don't concede anything to anybody. And I think their pitching staff is pretty good. I think the rotation is deep. And I think the Padres are going to be very good. And I root for Mike Shildt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that if you are a Cardinal fan, you would like to see Mike Shildt have great success as long as it doesn't come as the Cardinals' expense for that, unless you're really just a glutton for punishment. But the Cardinals will open up 4 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Padres out west before coming back here to open their season against the Marlins on April 4th. I tell you what, though, I mean, that Dodger lineup, you kind of look at it and you look at how deep they are. And with Mookie Betts starting the way that he did and having Gavin Lux bat 9th for that team, my God, that is just a deep 1 through 9. And if you get any bit of Max Muncy that you got when he was hot last year, that is such a dangerous lineup. That is going to, regardless of the top pitchers that we expect them to have in their staff, they're just going to outslug so many teams too.
Yeah, I think so. And, the 2 guys that go unnoticed, you mentioned Muncy, so not completely unnoticed. He, even if his batting average is down and that sort of thing, he's not at the level of the top 3 hitters in the lineup, but he's a guy that can hit 4, 5, or 6 for you, depending on the opposition and whether he's hot or not. And he's always going to have a good on-base percentage. The other guy is Will Smith. And Smith is a legitimate offensive player. And he'll be a guy that hits 4th or 5th for you. if he plays to his career averages. So, yeah, they go top to bottom. Outman, I love a lot. Hayward hitting down, in the 7-8 spots. That's deep. It's legit. I think the fun thing to watch, because I have complete confidence in him, is Mookie being the regular everyday shortstop. And I'm confident he's going to be very good.
He has gone out there and just played anywhere that the Red Sox or the Dodgers have asked him to play throughout his career, just throwing him out anywhere that's needed. And a guy that you kind of look at and you go, okay, that's an everyday left fielder. Nope, we're going to move him to second. Shortstop's not working out. No, we're going to put him over at shortstop. And we'll get into that. But just think back to all the times. Think back to before Mason Wynn, just Tommy Edman, Brendan Donovan telling, us when we're told, they can't play shortstop, it's too tough. And then Mookie Betts is like, okay, I guess I got to go there. And the Dodgers just having full confidence in him to be able to go out there mid-spring training and just take over that position. So, it shows you the athleticism of a guy like Mookie Betts. The one story that the Dodgers are really, really hoping goes away fast, not Yamamoto getting lit up in the first inning, but their other Japanese star, Shohei Ohtani. News comes out after Game 1 of the series, and I'm sure many of you have seen it by now. His longtime interpreter, best friend, the man that he has spent more time with than probably anybody since he has come over to Major League Baseball, his was fired by the Dodgers and is now being looked at for massive theft of $4.5 million in wire transfers that had been sent from Shohei Ohtani's bank account to bookmaking operations. Ipeya Mizuhara was the interpreter's name. And Shohei did not speak to any media after the game on Thursday, did not speak to any media after that game, played in the game, but immediately left afterwards. And as they make their way back over here to the States, at some point you figure they're going to ask some questions of him, right?
Yes. And I'm not suggesting it is the case, but if you're really doing an honest investigation, if Shohei placed any bets himself, it sounds like he's too smart to do that. But even if he okayed his money for bets, I think that's going to be really bad for him. On the other hand, if it really is theft, then maybe they caught it now and nipped it in the bud, and all those things will take care of themselves. But when it first came out and we didn't have very many details, I thought about the Hispanic pop singer Selena, who was murdered by her best friend who was stealing from her. And so maybe by catching the guy now and having it all out in the open, that nothing more untoward will take place and Shohei will be able to move forward and play baseball.
I think it is it's very interesting when you go and you look at kind of the sources and you look at the news outlets that are covering this. The LA Times has been all over it. ESPN has been all over it. The Athletic has been all over it. If you go to MLB.com and you look at the headlines on both the main page and the Dodgers page itself, there is not a single word about this on Major League Baseball's page website right now as far as stories go. And like I said, the Dodgers, Rob Manfred, the entire world of Major League Baseball probably wants this story to go away as fast as possible because this is the biggest worldwide star that they have ever had. And now he is playing for one of the most iconic teams that they have. And this is just not something that they want on their that they want to deal with at all.
And the other one you think about is Michael Jordan. When he retired for a year, there was always been rumors, not proven that I'm aware of, that there were gambling implications.
Are you saying that Shohei is going to go play G League basketball for a year and a half?
He could. He's got the size.
And he seems to be about athletic enough. I think his wife, have you seen the highlights of his wife playing basketball?
No, I like basketball, but that's pretty deep. That's peeling away a lot of layers.
I'll try to find the link and send it to you. But
Okay.
yeah, Rammer, you would have hey, she from way downtown, bang, a lot of times, Rammer. She had a nice jump shot from the outside. So
Okay.
yeah, you Cardinals will be seeing the Dodgers next. That game starts. That series starts next Thursday. 4-game series to open up the season. I don't remember ever seen a 4-game series to start a season that the Cardinals are going to have to do against the Dodgers next week. And the Cardinals on Sunday will fly out to Arizona. So they'll wrap up their stops in Jupiter. They'll fly out to Arizona. They'll play 2 games against the Cubs, and then they'll head up to L.A. to open against the Dodgers. So a lot of travel right now for this Cardinal team, sleeping in a lot of different places and getting on a lot of airplanes over the next several days, over the next 10 days or 10, 13 days or so. As they go out to Arizona, pay attention to who gets on that team plane. Pay attention to what those lineups look like against the Cubs those 2 days, because I don't know if they know who their 26 men are right now.
I would agree with that. And most of it, well, there's two main factors. One is injuries. The second thing is, though, that guys that we were really concerned about, several of them are hitting the ball very, very well and are getting a stranglehold on spots. In particular, Carlson, who everybody in the world is down on, Burleson, who we knew could hit, but is he really ready to be a big league hitter? And the other guy that people thought belongs back on the scrap heap is Matt Carpenter. And all 3 of those guys have clearly earned spots. It doesn't look like Crawford will be ready. So who's your backup shortstop? So I think there are those last 2-3 spots will be really interesting.
Well, I think you start the season with Crawford on the roster. Are you suggesting you don't think Crawford makes the opening day roster and they kind of hold him back a bit?
He hadn't been playing much. My understanding, he wasn't 100% yet. For
the role that he is,
he's got to be 100%. You're not going to put an injured guy on the roster. If he's injured, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
Is I think I'm really validating your point. This next week, we'll see about all these things.
Right.
Is Crawford ready to play? I mean, even if he played today, tomorrow, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or would it be Monday, Tuesday? Even if he played all those games, well, he wouldn't have played 10 games in March. So all I'm saying is, to me, these are spots that aren't completely locked up yet.
I think if you look at the roster configuration, if you look at what they have in the organization, and you're trying to find 4 bench spots right now, Ivan Herrera obviously is your backup catcher. He gets one of those. You mentioned Matt Carpenter. He's there. He's the veteran leadership. They brought him in there to be this veteran.
No, don't ever say that again. If he was hitting 150, he would not make the roster.
In the current state, though, with the injuries to Edman and to Newbar, I think maybe he does. Any other time, if everybody is healthy, then maybe they say, Matt, how's your back? Oh, really? 10-day IL? Okay.
I think stop with the leadership stuff. Carpenter never was a leader. He's not now. He's a good guy. He works hard. He leads by example. So let's don't bring that up again.
They have come out and there have been articles written about it so far in spring training this year, though.
So now are we going to do our show about the value of articles written?
All I am saying is that is what has been reported.
I only care about your opinion.
I'm just telling you what has been reported so far.
I know it's been reported. I'm in the media.
Has Frank talked about his leadership?
Look, the Cardinals say a lot of things all the time. It's why they're always in trouble, because they always make these grandiose statements that always blow up in their face.
Yeah.
So this is me and you talking. Forget it. Forget the leadership thing. He leads by example because he works so hard. Now let's move on.
4 bench spots: Ivan Herrera, Matt Carpenter, I say Brandon Crawford is one of those spots. You,
I hope so. I hope so.
you put out there about the injuries, and you look at that. So that leaves the fourth spot. There are no outfielders that have really shined in spring training that should grab that outside of Victor Scott.
What about the Siani kid?
Again, are you just going to have him up there just to be your fifth outfielder?
Well, yes, because if you wouldn't do that with Victor Scott.
Right.
So if that's true, then what's your alternative?
I think the alternative, the fourth guy right now, I think is a guy like Jose Fermin.
Even though he's an infielder.
Yeah, but when you look at what you have in the outfield, you still have you have Walker, you have Carlson, you have Donovan, and you have Burleson that are out there. So you do have four outfielders right now that can go out there and play for you.
Yeah, I like Fermin as a bench guy, and he has been hitting, so that would be fine. I wonder if everyone was healthy, you probably wouldn't keep Fermin and Crawford. So
no, absolutely not.
These last two spots, it's going to be fluid depending on health, I think.
Yeah, and again, I mean, baseball always has a way to figure things out when it comes to rosters, and we don't need to sit here and play the, we don't need to sit here and play the game of what if, but to look at what that roster might look like if it was Nootbaar and Edman, and who would be that guy out as far as a Carlson or Carpenter or that's one of those where you kind of look at it and you say, what would happen if this was the case? And I don't know when we see Tommy Edman though this year. June?
Well, there are too many variables to guess on that. There's just too many variables. You don't know who's going to be healthy, who's not, and also performance, who's going to perform and who's not. I think the interesting thing is Victor Scott. I know we all love him and we love the potential, and Ollie loves him too, but is he going to play every day? By every day, I mean, is he going to start 5 days a week? If you keep him, he has to play at least 5 days a week. So that means one of your other guys that have been performing is not playing. Does it end up with ostensibly a Burleson Carlson platoon, maybe? Or maybe it's a three-man platoon between those two and Walker? I don't know. I think that's workable. The easy out, and probably the guys wearing the suits upstairs would say, let's get him back to AAA and then bring him up when we need him. But I think we're all kind of rooting for him to be the starting center fielder, don't you?
Yeah, and I think one thing that, as Cardinal fans, when you look at the construction of the lineup, one thing that it still might take some time to get used to it and to kind of learn the way of baseball of having a DH, that when you look at those bench spots, they're not as important as they were 3-4 years ago. And when you also look at the team too, you could say, all right, we don't have a right-handed bat. We need, bats off the bench. First, tell me, of the lefties in the lineup, who do you need to pinch hit for? I mean, if it's a Donovan or Gorman that just have atrocious numbers against a certain lefty late in the game,
maybe.
Then you kind of look at it from there. But I don't think there's a righty in this lineup that you're going to pinch hit for. So I
think you're right. I agree with you.
As far as the bullpen makeup goes, second worst week for somebody last name of Middleton, as we're going to see him start on the injured list to start the season. As you kind of go through the rest of the pitching staff, I think with some of the injuries and some of the question marks, I know it was kind of a big deal leading into it. It's going to be Zach Thompson. It's going to be Libator. I think both make the opening day roster right now.
Yeah, Libator's an interesting case, but I think Thompson is on, and I think Libator, to me, and I haven't really looked at the bullpen because without seeing him in person, it's hard to look at numbers and make an evaluation. But I think Libator 50-50 maybe.
I think with some of the injuries right now, I would like to see him down in AAA getting starts.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know when Sonny Gray is going to be able to start a game.
Right.
So
I feel like unless, and I haven't seen this or heard this, unless he's had a little bit of setback with the hamstring, I think that he maybe starts by game 5 or maybe starts the home opener.
yeah. I could see them. You're still looking at, that's 8 days that you are without one pitcher less than you should be in the bullpen, right?
I don't know how the IL rules work. Could you open the season and say and backdate it? You probably could because he got injured at a certain point. I forgot the date, and backdate it to have him ready and put an extra pitcher on there. On the other hand, if you think he's going to be start the 5th game, you probably don't do that.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on his hamstring and how he's feeling.
Yeah.
I would say game 5 or the home opener.
Rammer, who is your World Series prediction for 2024?
I have not given that 1 second of thought.
Are we going to save that then for next Thursday?
Well, I would just say, the prohibitive favorite would be the Dodgers, even though they got roughed up. Yamamoto got roughed up. And then who would be in the American League? I'll take the populist point of view and go with the Orioles.
Ooh, okay. We'll let you change that next Thursday. I'm going to go. God, the Phillies have been so close the last 2 years, and they've shown that they're going to spend. I'm going to go Phillies out of the National League and out of the American League. Mariners have made. I'm going to go Texas again. I'm going to say Texas Phillies World Series is what
Texas is good.
What I'm going with for this year. But we can give predictions next week on the show. My surprise team, I'll give you this, my dark horse team just to make the playoffs this year, the Royals. Royals are my AL Central champions.
Wouldn't that be fun?
They've gone out, they had one of the busiest off seasons of anybody when it came to free agent signings, and Bobby Witt Jr., he's ready to make a huge splash on the scene.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I would like that.
I think that's what we're going to see out of the AL Central. And we will be coming your way every Monday through Friday. We will have tickets to give away this year on Claibs Online, as we have in years past, each and every day. Not every day for the ticket giveaways, but we'll have them every week on Daily Cards Live. And Rammer, we're brought to you, as always, by the folks at Munganass St. Louis Acura and your friends at Royal Banks.
Royal Banks, we haven't talked about Royal Banks here on Claibs Online for a little while. Royal Banks started, over 60 years ago in St. Louis, and recently in the last decade have moved to the east side with 2 locations to St. Charles County, and even 3 locations in the last couple of years in Northeast Missouri. And each and every location feels like your hometown bank. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking.
And a big thank you goes out to the folks at Munganass St. Louis Acura and Munganass Burkhardt Alton Toyota, providing us with wheels down in Jupiter for spring training. And we still have a few spring training pieces of content to put out there, as we have been for the last month and a half on Claibs Online. So keep checking it there and see everything that we have been up to down in Jupiter for the last 6 weeks or so in that beautiful 2024 Highlander from the folks at Munganass Burkhardt Alton Toyota. Made it back up here. I made the drive back up here the other day, and we thank them for letting us use that while we were down there. Until next Thursday for the Cardinals season opener, he is Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been the first edition of the 2024 Daily Cards Live right here on Claibs Online.
A swing and a long drive. It's a goaler in the Cardinal bullpen.
I'm a superpower. Yeah. Stand tall. Yeah. Raise strength from within me. Work hard till I die, to the top, take it with me. No heights in my greatness. Now I'm free from the limits. I can fly like I'm weightless.